Most people think control means fixing everything around them. Other people, outcomes, timing, approval, chaos. But the harder they try to force life into place, the more it slips through their hands. That is the illusion. The world is loud, unstable and unpredictable, so people chase external solutions, hoping something outside them will finally make them feel secure. But real control begins somewhere else. It begins in the one place most people avoid looking: themselves. Most people never realize the power they want is already there. Not in more attention, not in more validation, in self-command. Because if you cannot govern your reactions, your mind and your choices, then life will keep governing you. This guide will show you how to take back command. And to do that, you first have to understand what Stoic power actually is. Stoic power is not dominance. It is not emotional suppression. It is disciplined awareness, the ability to see clearly, think clearly, and act without being ruled by impulse. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, understood that freedom is not found in controlling the world. It is found in controlling yourself. Reaction belongs to the unstable mind. Response belongs to the governed mind. Noise belongs to confusion. Silence belongs to strength. Impulse belongs to weakness. Principle belongs to power. That is why Stoicism feels so calm. It is not passive, it is precise. A man with inner mastery does not need to prove he is in control. He simply is. And once you understand that, the next battle becomes obvious: your mind. Because if you cannot direct your thoughts, nothing else will stay directed for long. Everything in your life begins with thought. If your mind is chaotic, your life will be chaotic. Uncontrolled thinking leads to overreaction, self-doubt, obsession, and emotional instability. It makes small problems feel massive and temporary emotions feel permanent. This is why mental discipline is the foundation of all control, because the mind can become a courtroom, endlessly judging you. It can become a battlefield, always fighting itself. Or it can become a prison, repeating the same fears until they feel like truth. The Stoic solution is not to silence the mind, it is to govern it. If you keep letting your mind run wild, it will keep making decisions for you before you even notice. And once that happens, your emotions take over next, because a mind left unchecked always spills into emotion. Stoicism does not ask you to become cold. It asks you to become aware. Anger will rise. Fear will rise. Frustration, insecurity, disappointment, all of it will come. The point is not to suppress it. The point is to observe it without obeying it. That is emotional mastery. Because emotions are real, but they are not always instructions. They are signals, information, and if you mistake them for truth, they will steer your life. Reaction belongs to the weak moment. Wisdom belongs to the disciplined one. Weakness says, I feel it, so I must follow it. Self-command says, I feel it, and I will still choose. What separates the controlled from the chaotic is not the absence of emotion. It is the discipline to choose the next move. And that matters because the outside world never stops testing you. So the real question becomes, what happens when the world starts pulling on you every day? When you let the world lead you, you slowly lose yourself. External validation starts shaping your mood. Distraction steals your attention. Weak boundaries let other people decide your time, your energy, and your priorities. And people-pleasing makes you easier to control but harder to respect. This is the hidden cost most people never notice. They do not lose control in one dramatic moment. They lose it gradually through daily surrender, one unnecessary reaction, one more approval-seeking decision, one more hour given to the algorithm, one more yes said out of fear. Approval feels temporary. Self-respect lasts. Chaos feels exciting for a moment. Peace is built through restraint, and if you keep letting circumstance decide your mood, you will live reactively instead of intentionally. The life may look busy, but it will feel powerless. That is why Stoic habits matter so much. They restore control where it has slowly been leaking away. Self-control is not a personality trait. It is trained. Repetition builds it. Start your morning with reflection. Ask yourself what kind of man you want to be before the world starts pulling at you. Keep the promises you make to yourself, because every kept promise strengthens your inner command. Choose discomfort on purpose, because strength grows where ease ends. Pause before reacting so you can respond from principle instead of impulse. And when life feels loud, ask one Stoic question: what is within my control right now? That is the code. Performance wants to look disciplined. Authenticity actually is disciplined. Impulse wants relief. Discipline wants direction. Small disciplined actions do not just improve your day, they create a life that feels steady, intentional, and unshakable. And when that becomes your way of living, control stops being something you chase and becomes something you embody. This is the reward of Stoicism, not control over everything around you, but immunity to being controlled from the outside. You stop needing every situation to go your way. You stop being moved by every opinion, every distraction, every sudden emotion. Weak people react to life. Strong people direct it through self-command, and that changes who you are at the deepest level. You become calmer, more focused, less needy, more present, and harder to disturb. You no longer need chaos to feel alive. You no longer need approval to feel solid. That is the Stoic life: quiet authority, steady peace, and power that does not need to announce itself. If this gave you clarity, reflect on where your control has been leaking, comment with the Stoic idea that hit you most, and continue into the next lesson on discipline, emotional control, or Stoic living.